Howdy. Welcome to Heim Time Podcast. My name is Travis.
I'm Emma Heim.
And I guess I should have said I'm Travis Heim.
Yeah.
I'm Travis Heim, you're Emma Heim. And this is another great Heim Time Podcast.
Woohoo!
This should be a good episode, I think.
Yeah.
We have a lot to chat about. Vegas shenanigans and other related activities.
Yeah.
But yeah, really fun. So thanks for listening. Please follow us on patreon.com/HeimTime Podcast. It's $5.
Yeah, $5 a month.
Not a lot, like a cup of coffee, but we have to pay Paul Nexum Studios.
Right.
We get to shoot in this incredible studio. So please support us there. We've done a bunch of recipe videos and other like cool stuff, but then we post like the barbecue classes videos on there. If you want us to ask a question or a topic for us to talk about, you can suggest it on Patreon and we have to discuss it.
Right.
I think that's the rule we made. If you message us on Instagram or Twitter, then we're just going to ignore you. So awesome. Patreon shout outs. Number 1, do you have this?
I do.
Okay. Shug, evil genius, mastermind behind one of our favorite local breweries. Great guy. Was a Patreon at the start, went away, which is understandable because we didn't do a podcast for like 6 months. Now he's back.
Yep.
We got him back. I believe this is Dawn T. Bailey. The email and the name said Don't Bailey. So it's either Don't Bailey or Dawn T. Bailey.
Okay.
Probably a great guy, right?
Yeah.
And then number 3,
Brandon Colston. Yay, thank you.
We know a Chase Colston.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're related. But Brandon, great guy.
Awesome.
New
Thank
Patreon
you.
follower. So
Be like them. Join our Patreon. Support us directly. $5 a month. It's not too difficult. And we hope you think we're cool.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
And if you're a cheap ass, just, subscribe on YouTube or Spotify, iTunes, all of that. So either way, we'll take it. So hit it, Paul.
Good evening from Fort Worth, Texas. It's slow here in the heat. We're down Main Street.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. Good to see you.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back. We did Vegas this week, you guys.
Vegas.
What? When you go to Vegas or, anywhere really, I feel like you need a vacation from your vacation.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to get back on planet Earth, you could say.
It's like the Bermuda Triangle of debauchery.
And like we took one photograph and like in the caption, it's kind of stupid, but we have like a travel Instagram, Heim Time Travels, not to be confused.
I think it's pretty cool.
It's kind of fun, but we didn't go anywhere for like 4 years. So, but like on the picture, I just wrote like we went to sunny Las Vegas and then we didn't see the sun.
Yeah.
Because you kind of like don't know what time it is ever.
130 degrees. So,
yeah, desert.
Because we had talked about playing golf. If you listen to the podcast, I'm a big golf guy. So, and we didn't because it was so hot.
It was literally like steaming.
The one photo we have too, the mask mandate is back in Vegas, which it'll probably be everywhere soon, I guess. But the one photo, we're both awkwardly holding our mask behind our backs. Which then you cropped out yourself, but then left me to look like the weirdo with the weird arm.
No, I mean you look nice.
So thanks, I appreciate it. But the one photo, you got a photo with the dessert of me with Sharon. I guess I could say your name, but I think that was it.
That was it.
So we're back physically.
What'd you think?
Maybe not emotionally,
mentally.
About Vegas?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was all right.
So we stayed at the Wynn, which we hadn't done before on the Encore side. I liked that. I liked that a lot. It was much nicer than the other places. We've stayed at Bellagio, and then one time we went like to the Luxor, which I did not enjoy.
There's a lot of tank tops.
A lot of tank. Actually, I was counting tank tops last time at the Luxor, and so we stayed on the Encore side, which was super nice. And then we saw Tyga.
Yeah,
Who
Tyga.
I was like, wait, this guy looks really familiar. And then I was like, wait, he dated Kylie Kardashian or Kylie Jenner, which is, I don't know if arguably that would be why he's super famous because he was on the show or his
Right.
music. So that's a debate there.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I couldn't have told you who he was, but. And then we saw Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Who's now Lakers, so that was kind of cool. And then
There's a lot of NBA
yeah,
players.
they're doing the summer league.
We were like, why are
league.
these giants walking around?
There's a lot of tall dudes.
Tall.
And then that one day at the pool, they were like all in the pool, but they're like 8 feet tall. So it was like
They
it
were
was
just
funny.
regular.
Yeah, Vegas is weird to me. It's like, how do I put this? It's like just people spending money and like you like big baller, but it's all kind of a veiled like maybe spending too much money that you don't have.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, it's like luxury, but it's like not really luxury. It's like just kind of a like I don't know. It's a weird place to me, and I hate cigarettes, and I think
Yeah, of
that's another
course.
thing that bothers me. But we gambled a little bit, which was fun.
Yeah.
I'm learning craps. The guys that we went with, big craps guys, and I like. First of all, it's like math, you know, which I'm like, all right, I don't want to do math if I'm trying to have fun,
Drinking
but
and
then
spending money.
the odds and the bets, and then you can do this bet, but then you can't, you know, whatever. So it was enjoyable. We had a good time. We saw Whitney Cummings, the comedian,
Yeah.
who was
The last night.
okay.
It was okay.
Not bad.
I mean,
Not bad.
first of all, it was kind of funny. So she had the guy from her podcast you were saying
Yeah.
as her like opener.
I think her
I'm not sure his name.
assistant technically
Okay.
is, but
So he comes out there and like, you know, COVID, people haven't been doing shows and stuff. And so I would say it was rusty at best, the dude.
he
And
wasn't-
then and then though, like he's like definitely done with his portion. And he's like, okay, and here she is. And it was like maybe 8 minutes
They
before
start playing
she
WAP.
came
Yeah.
before she came out of the like behind the curtains or whatever. So he was like, okay. It was really awkward.
I've heard this on, you know, I listen to a lot of comedians podcasts, but it's like I think he did like 15 minutes and then you could tell was like, okay, I'm done. And then this is when I bring her on, and then didn't have one single joke to do because
No.
then he started being like,
He was like,
what do
"Where-
you do for
where
a
do
living?
you work?"
Yeah.
But then he
But
was
without
like,
jokes, just basically asking people.
yeah, it wasn't like the funny follow-ups that like you get at, you know, other shows. It was just awkward, honestly.
I remember there's a story, Chris DiStefano, a funny comedian that I like, was saying where he was opening for like Seinfeld or somebody, and he was supposed to do like 30 minutes, and then, or whoever it was, like wouldn't hang out there. Like he's like a big shot comedian guy. So he's like, this guy will go 30 minutes. He's going to show up like a minute before in a cab and then go. So anyway, he's doing it. And then it's like, he's not there. So he's kind of like looking around, not like that guy where he's like, he's coming up next or whatever. It's like, he was just kind of like, okay, I don't see him. And then the guy in the back's like, you know, stretch
Continue.
it out, like keep it going. And so he ends up doing like literally all the jokes he's ever had in his entire life. And then he said when he was a kid, his mom would make him memorize the state and state capitals. And so he just started asking name me a state and I'll tell you the state capital, and like went through this whole thing. But the thing was the comedian that was coming after him got in a car wreck. His driver got in a wreck on the way over.
My God.
So then he ended up not even showing up. So anyway, I felt bad for that guy because it was clearly like Whitney was just in the back, not paying attention. And then had some funny jokes, but
Yeah.
I don't know. The food is mediocre. I think it's a lot of restaurants that you spend a ton of money at.
One though that was really good was Sinatra's in the Win or in the Encore, I guess. That's
bad.
so good.
Yeah.
Other than that, Lakeside, we did that at the Wynn, where it's
Yeah.
like they do like a whole show while you eat on. It's like a digital show. It's not like people dancing or anything.
Right.
What did I eat there?
Which is weird.
Oh, a beet salad. Yeah, no, overall, it was good. It was our first time away from Izzy, which was a little stressful.
I hated that.
Yeah, that was hard. Like the second day, I was like, man, I could really just like go hug my kid, but it's okay. It was fun, and we got time alone. So
Yeah. You were like, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of the room. I can't.
well, because like I felt like when we were just in the room, like hanging out, it's like either you're spending money or you're just like thinking about how sad you are that you're not with your baby.
Right.
Anyway, it'll probably be a little bit before we go back.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd ever go back. I mean, it was fun and we had a good time and we were with friends and that's why we went. But it's just a weird place. Went to the topless pool.
Yeah.
Topless.
Which like right beyond that is a pool that children play at.
Yeah. Right next to it.
But yeah, so it was topless optional,
Yeah.
and we went kind of early. It was like 11.
Yeah.
And like we were like, no one's gonna do this, right? No one, about like noonish, there's a couple pairs of boobs out.
Couple pairs. Yeah.
So
And you didn't though. You were
to be
staying
clear,
on, just
we were
to be
with like
clear.
friends, so I felt like maybe I shouldn't, bust these out.
Mom boobs. One of the young ladies. Our group was enamored with a couple of them, and I was just like, I mean, I've seen boobs before. I don't know if, but
Oh, yeah,
maybe it's
right.
just the setting of like
Boobs in the
at
wild.
pool, and you're just whatever. But that was interesting.
I did notice, like, nothing against like the male gender or whatever, but I was like, chicks are just so much prettier than dudes. Like,
Yeah.
all of the guys were like not attractive, and
Yeah.
I was just like, like I get it. Like, I'm like, I have a degree in psychology. Like, I love human interaction and like the brain and mind and how everything works. And it was just like it was like, so these women are literally just doing this to like maybe get some free stuff, maybe go to the Chanel store after this, like whatever it is. But it was so clearly obvious because there's not really a necessity at 11:30 a.m. to like, I have to take off my top right now.
I don't know. Maybe it was a medical condition.
Yeah,
It's just like, gotta
maybe.
get sun. Gotta get
Coming
sun
from
on
somebody
these.
that wears a bra every single day of their life, I do kind of understand that. Just let them out.
Yeah, so that was interesting for our group, but the pool was fun.
Yeah, I think that was the funnest day. We got a cabana. It was really fun.
Well, we didn't. There's this new thing apparently of beach club, which
Yeah,
we
Encore
had,
Beach Club.
Yeah, we had a friend that went a week ahead
Yeah.
of time, and some of our group wanted to do that, but it was like, for one, her tab was like $6,000, right? For
Yeah.
like a couple bottles of Grey Goose. And
3 bottles of Grey Goose is $2,300 just for the bottles, which is an aggressive amount of Grey Goose, but
it is a lot.
that should be like what, like $150 or something like. I don't
Maybe.
even know. I haven't bought a Grey Goose bottle since college.
I haven't either. There's like a few things I won't, like Jack Daniels, I'll never drink again because that one night in college where
Yeah.
we just got absolutely obliterated. So, and then that pool was like, that's the pool where it's like, it's going down. Like everybody
Yeah,
was
that's where you
dressed up
definitely
to-
go if you're trying to see topless chicks and bottomless, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe bottomless is optional there. The
Yeah,
one we went to,
You have to take your
Topless is
top off of
optional.
the Encore Beach Club, but the bottom is,
Yeah.
suggested.
DJ Marshmallow was
Mhm.
there, which I guess one of our friends said he saw him going in, but
Yeah, and our driver, when we were going back to the airport, he was like, oh, yeah, I've driven him. He was a Wynn driver.
yeah.
He was like, yeah, I've driven him. He's just like a blonde dude. He's pretty cool, like normal dude.
Well,
I was
that's
like,
what
but
we
how do
were-
you know?
Does he wear the bucket like the whole time, or does like? And he was like, no, he was just in here. But
like-
then I guess he puts it on when he
Yeah.
walks out.
But like
right?
nobody knows who he is.
I guess I don't know.
So Vegas-y, the tricks never stop coming.
I know it's just like some like 20-year-old guy or some
Yeah.
blonde guy. Like,
He said he was just a normal dude.
but COVID doesn't exist in Vegas either.
Well,
I
I mean, it
guess.
does, I guess, because
It's
they
like-
did. I mean, it was mandated. There was at one point, I think I was like, I had like a glass of wine walking, and the guy, like a regular guy, was like, "Hey, ma'am,"
Oh,
and I was like, "Oh, my bad." Like,
well, you
I,
are going to break the rules, though.
Of
Let's be
course.
honest.
but I was like,
You're
I
a
didn't
rule
realize I
breaker.
couldn't like have a glass of wine or whatever. But
Yeah. Thought
dude,
this
I
was
will
America.
say too, after that, after like the beach club, Encore Beach Club got out,
Yeah.
and like I think we were like up in the room chilling, and then we were like, all right, let's go down and like do some slots or something. And it was like I think right when like it was like 4:00, and those things started at like 11 a.m. The
Yeah.
parties. The most drunk people I've ever
Yeah.
seen in my life,
That
and like
was good.
you know, on Barstool, like the Instagram, there's always like the videos of guys videoing other guys getting yelled at by their
Right.
girlfriends. We
Right.
saw like 4 guys. Like the
Mhm.
chick was in their faces, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" They were all getting chewed.
The one guy was like, didn't he? He was on another
He
planet.
was
it looked
literally on
like.
Mars, yeah. And she was like, "Meh, meh, meh." It's like he doesn't know what you're saying right now.
May have been, taking a gander a little too long at the beach club.
Yeah,
some
bottom's
other
optional.
ladies.
Gander.
So, and then they said too, the gummies, the weed is legal there.
Yeah.
We talked about that in the past. Apparently, that's a big issue of like people just taking like 20 gummies.
People don't realize you have to take like maybe even half and then sit on your hands and
And then
don't
wait.
drink either.
5 hours
Yeah.
and then make sure you're okay. And then,
Then figure out your life.
because that's one of the guys at the hotel was like, there's like people pass out, especially at night, like all the time. And they're just like, yeah, this is, of course.
Yeah,
Which-
there's like ambulances, a couple of ambulances, and one of the employees was like, "Oh yeah, that's because they had too many gummies."
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, I don't know. A weird place overall.
Yeah,
but,
overall.
I was rolling on craps. That was fun. That
You
was a
also
fun
did
evening.
extremely well on Wheel of Fortune 25-cent
Yeah.
machine. I was like, "What the heck?"
That was so weird. I hit something and then it was like free spins. And then so like literally we sat there like an hour.
Yeah,
And it was just
20
like
free
going
spins, 20 free spins.
Yeah. until it went up to 300. And then this is like another thing with Vegas where it's like, but then it maxed out at 300. So like we hit it again, but then you couldn't get more.
Right.
So it's like there's not a limit on how much you could lose in Vegas, but then there's
How
a
much you
limit
can
on
win.
how much, so I don't know.
That was fun though.
Yeah, I was very happy to be home and see our angel child. But anyway, Vegas recap. You're not missing much. There was 1 million people. We ended up after the comedy show. Then we played craps at that casino where we were at. We take a cab home. This is like 2 a.m. now, and there's 1 million people
Yeah.
like walking around.
Zombie
And then I told you because the girls went back early. I saw like 3 strollers, like people pushing their kids around, and one lady was pushing her kid, and then had some sort of like plate of food that was holding in the other hand, and was like taking a bite.
multitasking at 3 a.m.
Yeah, walking across the street with a child who was awake clearly. So, it's a wild place. It's a
No rules.
wild place. So happy to be back safe in Fort Worth. This is something that's been bothering me for a while. Barbecue names are too horny. Way too horny.
Barbecue names,
Barbecue names. Do you understand what I'm saying?
team names.
Team names, sauces, decorative towels. It's gone.
Menu items.
Menu items. It's gone too far. But we
Mhm.
got tagged in a meme. I think Dan, one of our loyal listeners.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody, I think it was him maybe, but it was like, suck my bone barbecue sauce or like something like
Rub my meat.
just way too intense deal. And so I would like to, as a valued member of the barbecue community, like we just need to take it back a notch. Okay, it's a little too sexy. But I wrote down, and then I did a little bit of research. The big one was our friend Matt with Me Church.
Yeah.
Says he's going to come on the podcast. I mean, who knows? Don't hold your breath. But one of his famous rubs, D's Nuts.
D's nuts.
D's Nuts. And it contains pecan, I think, or something.
Okay. Do you use that on
Nuts?
pork?
I don't
or
know
beef?
what you put it
Ooh,
on.
nuts. You could do nuts and put them in the oven. Let them toast up like a bar snack
I guess.
with these nuts.
Memphis in May, one of the big
Mm-hmm.
barbecue competitions. I wrote down some team
Okay.
names. Do you want to?
Nuts in butts.
Yeah, I thought that was
What,
maybe
you
the best
guys?
one. Nuts.
In with the the
Apostrophe.
apostrophe, not in
Butts.
in. TT butts.
Pure pleasure porkers.
Okay.
Sexual.
Pure
Very
pleasure.
sexual.
That sounds like something you get at the Velvet Box.
Dirty hogs.
Not
bad.
I mean, that's still
Not as bad.
not as bad.
Next.
Nice rack.
Straight to the point. Two sauce to pork.
Okay, that's
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I think they're a pretty good team. I've heard of them before. And then Pigs Gone Wild, which didn't seem as bad.
Except that Girls Gone Wild guy's like in prison, right?
Yeah. I think tax evasion or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I just remember the Kardashians like still working for him in one of the first seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he
That
did
was
like a
on-
swimsuit line or something.
Yeah.
And that was on like not long ago. And I think it was when I was like in the thralls of early motherhood and it was on. And
I remember.
he was
that.
like literally in prison and they were calling him.
They went to his
And they did a
house.
photo shoot, at his house in like Cabo or Cancun or something. And
Yeah.
then it was like, wait, this guy?
Dude.
Whatever
I mean,
measures.
hey, right in my wheelhouse. If you're a 30 to 33-year-old male, those were like that. Those were the commercials late night. Girls Gone Wild.
Oh my God.
But I think he's a terrible person in general, from what I
Yeah,
gather.
I think,
But,
yeah.
So
So are you saying we're not going to do a competition team?
if we do, I think it needs to be a very horny name. I
Like
think
what?
to fit in. I don't know. I was trying to think of some.
Wrap your
Okay.
ribs.
Hog.
Something wrapping.
I think somebody sent me a Facebook group request, and it's grab 'em by the brisket, which I
Oh
was
my
like, I
God.
know that's a little, I guess, a nod to Trump.
When is this
in
gonna be
that,
Me
but
Too?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely a Trump nod.
That's what I was wondering, is these team names at some point you would think may go away, but rub your own meat. I like pork butts, and I cannot lie, I've seen a million
That's
things
funny.
like that. And then we have a friend that's given you multiple decorative barbecue towels that
Yeah.
have the same, like, I rub my own meat or whatever. So anyway, too horny, cut it out. It's way too horny. Right?
But if you got a good one, text it or message us
Yeah.
so we
And then
can
we'll
laugh
make that
at
our
it.
team name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nuts and butts.
Nuts and butts.
And
Nuts
then nice
in
rack.
butts.
Yeah,
Nice rack.
Nice rack is another
Tea
great one.
sauce to pork.
That's kind of funny. Those were the best I could find, and then I couldn't find. It was like, I don't know. It's just very sexual. So that's all I'm saying. It's like, well, I don't know where the line crossed of like barbecue and perverts, and but there's a.
But they're there and they're living.
Is that a Venn diagram? Is that what those
Yeah.
are called? Okay.
Those things where they cross.
Yeah.
They're thriving now.
I guess. There was a video where one of those amusement rides where you sit and then you like wait and then they surprise you and shoot you into the
Yeah.
atmosphere. They have it
Which
at
is
Six
aggressive.
Flags. I hate that stuff. I'm afraid of heights anyway, though. So
Yeah.
I never. I think I did that one time at Six Flags, and I literally just got like the chills thinking.
I've
about
never
it.
even done it.
It's terrible.
And there's a reason why now, for
So,
sure.
There's these young ladies, and they put them in the thing, and then it's like boom, catapult, and then they shoot off into the sky, and then very fast, and then there's what looks like maybe a seagull or some type of bird that then
Oh, that literally
hits
makes
the
me
girl in the
cringe.
face, but it's like a second where it's just on her face, and
But
then
it's
she
like
grabs it and like pulls it
the
off.
thing, the like ride thing goes over her head.
Right.
So it's like this, and then the bird literally, it's like her neck, but like the beak is like on her face, and then the wings are spread across her chest, like across her shoulders.
And the bird has no idea what just happened. It's just like flying aimlessly.
I just
and then,
can't.
You have an issue with birds.
I have, so like my main bugaboo in life is birds.
Okay.
And I think it really comes
Please
from
elaborate,
my
yeah.
childhood. So my dad's grandparents are from Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had, I don't know if this is like legal or whatever. I don't think it is. They had like cocks that they've fought.
Cockfighting.
Cockfighting.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
they like had medals and trophies and stuff all over their house. But they also had like a farm with hens and the ones that lay all the
Roosters,
eggs. Yeah.
all the, yeah.
So we used to go, like I must have been 5 and younger. But we would go and pick up the eggs from like the hen thing. And if you've ever been to one, you walk through like an extremely small space, but there's like just a massive amount of birds in there laying eggs. And anyway, I just cannot handle, I just have a thing in my head from that. And I think I just can't do it anymore. I can't do birds. And so when I saw that video, I was like, oh my, I would probably passed out. Like, get me off this ride right now. I don't know. Like, you just have, like, you have a fear of heights. Like, if we're even like on a patio and a bird is like near, I'm like, I'm out of here. I can't do this. I don't go to the thing at the zoo where you like walk through and you're like, oh, pretty birds, let me feed them. No. And our daughter will never do that either. So anyway, thanks for bringing up this amusement park ride with the bird.
Yeah, no problem. James had a parrot, right? Too growing
Yeah,
up.
in our house. My older brother
I
had
remember you
a
talking
bird.
about.
Its name was Cowbird.
Okay, not terribly
Cowboy.
creative.
It was
yeah.
Cowboy the bird. It's an African gray. They're actually like as smart as a kindergartner, apparently.
Right.
It changed its name to Cowbird, like it knew it was a bird. And it would talk all day, and it was actually in our like dining area, which my mother loved.
Sure. Yeah.
Never went in the dining room for like, I'm not kidding, 2 years or something, and it's a thing.
Wouldn't you say it would mimic the telephone or something?
The telephone, the microwave, it used to mimic my mom. It used to say, do your homework. It would say,
That's
The
crazy.
Simpsons, like when we'd sneak and watch The Simpsons because my parents were sticklers. The do 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 do.
That's funny.
It would do that. It would also eat a smaller dog. It would call the dog over and then pour its water onto the dog. It
hilarious.
was a real snake. Again, snakes are bad too, so snake bird.
Yeah. That was bird talk. So I think we have been enamored with this O.J. Simpson stuff.
Yeah, wild.
I think during the pandemic or pregnancy,
Sorry.
we watched what was it, FX maybe, the show
The one with
where it had David Schwimmer,
Yeah.
and Cuba Gooding Jr. and
with Ross from Friends.
Yeah. Which was good, but then I've watched multiple documentaries, so I
Yeah.
feel like we're well versed to
100%.
discuss this case. 'cause
Yeah.
we've really kind of done a
He
lot
did
of
it.
research. Okay. All right. That's one person's opinion. For some reason, The Athletic, and I saw this because Jake, I guess, said that he got fired from The Athletic, but he didn't really get fired. I think they just weren't using freelance people anymore. But he was like, basically like, I'm glad that I don't work for them anymore because they did a full article on O.J. Simpson.
Jake from The
Like,
Ticket.
Yeah,
Oh.
because he wrote like stuff for him.
Oh my.
For The Athletic. The Athletic published this, but it was kind of like a puff piece of like, I don't know what the point of it was, but I guess it was like, look, OJ's doing all right. And so,
Yeah, but read what they said.
There's a lot of great quotes, and I'll read this one. I think the other thing too, like if you don't know a lot about what happened, right? Like
Yeah.
the general story, he killed his wife, estranged wife, that they had issues on and off, and there's whatever, and another guy, and then
But like didn't get in trouble for it.
no, went to a trial, was found not guilty. There's a million reasons, which what's so interesting about it was all the Rodney King stuff,
Mhm.
and then I forget the girl's name, but then there's like a Korean
Oh yeah.
convenience store lady that murdered this black girl because she thought that she was stealing. That was all of this stuff happened right before the OJ thing. And so LA, and your family was living in LA right at this time, and just riots and crazy, stuff. And so it's really like the story's terrible because someone, probably OJ, killed these two people brutally, and it was awful. But the bigger story of like the justice system and black people and everything, like how all of that sort of came together was like this crazy. It's interesting, the backstory. So anyway, it's worth like watching that series, I think, and interesting. But you don't get a great picture of OJ.
No.
You don't.
That's why I was like, I totally did it.
You're like, man, I really don't like this guy.
Right.
So at least everyone that I've talked to. So anyway, it's interesting. And then in 2021, for some reason, The Athletic writes an article about
Just
him.
can't leave it alone.
So a quote from OJ about why he doesn't go to LA, Los Angeles. I have trouble with LA. People may think this is self-serving, but I might be sitting next to whoever did it. I really don't know who did this. Okay.
It's like, dude, you did. What are you talking about?
You sitting next to a mirror? Or?
Still just holding on.
You've got to look to learn, which I don't understand that. I figured eventually somebody would confess to something, Yeah, because
no one can because you did it.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to. Why would someone confess to something they didn't do?
I don't know. So
just someone's going to do it.
And then something. So it's very odd because he went to jail for a completely unrelated thing later in life.
Right. Yeah.
Got out of prison, and then now he just like plays golf all the time. And then he does these super weird videos on Twitter. If you follow him on Twitter, and he'll talk about like fantasy football. And then last week he talked about like get the vaccine, like encouraging everyone they should get vaxxed.
To get paid for that?
No, it's just him talking. And then he's like, and I forget what he says, but it's like, it's your favorite guy or what, he has
Daddy.
like some weird like tagline that, is like, hey, it's your old pal OJ, and he's like, it's very, very, very
cringy,
odd, and so weird. But the thing that I think I wanted to discuss, this was one of his last quotes. How many Americans even today wouldn't like to live my life? I don't work. I play golf 4 or 5 days a week. I go out to dinner a couple of nights with friends. People want to buy me drinks. I'm always taking pictures with people. Ladies hug me, which I thought was a funny way to end that.
Who doesn't want to live that?
I don't work. I play golf 4 or 5 days a week. I'm in so far. That's great. I go out to dinner, friends, awesome. Ladies hug me. All of those are positives. What about murdering your wife?
Well, that's what I was
spending
like,
time in prison.
The whole like the psychology behind that stuff. Like, you talk about like you're just nuts at this point.
I mean,
right?
I think that was the thing that they said in the documentary or whatever, was like he clearly is mental issues. And
well, yeah, if you're gonna kill somebody and then just be like, I didn't do that, you're nuts.
And this is maybe your psychology thing, but I've seen where it's like almost like when something that traumatic happens or somebody does that they almost like that, like he probably doesn't believe that he did
went
it.
Like out of body,
Right.
And then he's like, I didn't do that. Yeah, that's a trait of nutsness.
Yeah. Sociopath.
Like, you're like, I have literally no recollection of committing these crimes, which like maybe he really doesn't. I don't know. There's just so much evidence.
There's a lot of evidence.
There's so much evidence
it's
of it.
Very, very weird that.
I felt for that prosecutor. It's like, man, whatever her name was.
Marsha?
Yeah. It's like, dude.
It's weird. It's worth watching the series and the documentary. The series
I actually really enjoyed it.
Well, we've talked a lot about the Kardashians today, which is kind of funny, but like in the series, it's clearly like just because
oh yeah
the Kardashian dad was his friend.
Yeah.
So he wasn't technically a lawyer, like or something, but he was like they like helped the team,
Yeah.
the defendants,
Mhm.
whatever. But then there's like a bunch of shots of like the kids where they're like, "Daddy," you know, that's
like
on their team.
unnecessary shots
For no
Yeah.
reason.
But then also too, like you can, I don't know, obviously I wasn't there, but like in the series, Ross, aka Robert Kardashian,
Sure.
he's like, you can tell he's like, this dude did it
Yeah.
100%. Like, you know,
But, and I will say,
It's like a
I have
little-
no idea. I don't know if he was really felt that way. Because it was like OJ was like his best friend.
yeah, I mean, like exactly. Ross portrayed it that way, but was it really like that?
You keep saying Ross. the fictionalized version of Kardashian Robert in the show is like, oh my God, you know, and he's like, you know, like Mother Teresa, and because that's in the documentary. OJ flies to Chicago or whatever.
Mhm.
There's like one documentary I saw where Robert Kardashian is seen leaving the house with one of OJ's bags, like
Yeah.
the garment bag, and I think they showed it in the
They
series.
addressed that in the series.
But in the documentary,
Mhm.
there's like news camera footage of him leaving the house with that. And then that's what some people say maybe that was like
Where the
knife
weapon-
was in there or something.
Mhm.
So I guess that's the other thing is like it clearly went through the Kardashian like PR.
Well, they could have been like,
company.
yeah, exactly. Like, no, like just make him like this so
Right.
that it looks like he came off really good.
And he like gives OJ a Bible and stuff. It's like, I don't think any of this happened.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyway,
I think any of this happened.
what is the quote? How many Americans wouldn't like to live my life? I wouldn't. I don't want to go to prison.
I don't want
I
to
don't
kill
think-
someone
yeah,
and
it's
then have to
like-
live a lie.
I don't know. I like the golf part, but moving on. I don't know. Very weird. Mackenzie Hughes.
Uh-huh.
Back to our Pro-Am Colonial golf
Yeah.
talk. He is a Canadian gentleman who we played with in the Colonial Pro-Am, whatever they call it, Charles Schwab.
Beyond
He-
nice.
Super nice guy.
So nice.
The other guy, I said, you know, kind of a dick, but this guy was
Mackenzie
super
was great.
nice. Yeah,
Mhm.
helped
He even
us
said
read
hi
putts.
to the ladies.
Oh, I bet he
Appreciated that.
did. Yeah, we had the best looking gallery there. A bunch of drunk 30-year-old women.
There was one spot to get drinks, so we had to keep walking. Like, didn't matter what hole we were at. We're like, we got to go all the way.
But you brought the crew, so that
Yeah, it was fun.
that helped encourage us. But he was flying to Tokyo to compete in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And on Twitter, we messaged a few times after, but then was like, ask me anything, questions. I'm on a 20-hour flight or whatever. So I said, Mackenzie, how impactful was it playing in the Colonial Pro-Am?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that round propelled you to your recent major successes?
Ooh.
Great question. He said, there's no question. One of the best Pro-Am groups out there. I need to get into Heim BBQ the next time I'm in town. 100 emoji or whatever that is.
Oh, yeah?
Um,
Look at you.
shout out Mackenzie. Super nice guy. He's played really great lately. So I'm a big fan. I wasn't rooting for him in the Olympics because, you know, America, but super nice guy.
What does that mean? Oh,
America,
he's in
bro.
He's playing Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, I
He's
see.
Canadian.
Oh.
Get out of here.
I know that always separates us when the Olympics comes around. It's like,
the best.
like Luca.
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 Great run.
But he didn't play for America.
I would have been happy to see him win.
Same. That's what we were
Yeah.
talking about in Vegas. We were like, yeah, if he
Yeah.
wins, then that still feels like America won.
Yeah. And the best part of Luca just signed his new contract with the Mavs.
Oh, sick.
So this was a bit that Mike Reiner, formerly of the ticket,
Mhm.
but as you know, Jake is a diehard Mavs fan.
Yeah.
So like, you know, there's rules and I don't know all of it, but basically you get drafted by a team, right? So let's say you get drafted by the Mavs.
Mm-hmm.
You have a rookie contract that's like, it can only be this high. There's a limit to how high it is. Your second contract that they can offer you, there's a limit, right? To try to keep the cap and everything. But that limit is like if you're an all-star, if you're a rookie of the year, if you're a all NBA player, then that can increase how much the team is allowed to pay you.
Okay.
So the point is, after your first contract, you could be like a LeBron and be like, screw Minnesota, or wherever. I'm going to go to LA. Well, the way it's set up is, if that was the case, like let's say Luka went to LA or went to New York or something, Dallas can pay him 50 million more or something, 30 million more. So it's the whole point is it incentivizes like the smaller market teams, which Dallas isn't a smaller market team, but people don't like playing here for some reason. So then they can pay them more to try to keep them for their career.
Okay.
Because guys like Dirk, who play for one team their whole career,
Yeah.
are like, that never happens.
Mhm.
I mean, anymore. Russell Westbrook, who we saw, this is like his 7th team or whatever.
Yeah.
He's with the Lakers. So anyways, like 5-year, 200 million, some just insane
Nuts.
amount of money. And he's 22 years old. So I don't know. Hopefully he'll come into Heim Barbecue.
We should go to
We'll
more
look 'em up.
games. I've only been to one Mavs game, I think.
Yeah.
But it was like no, he didn't even play. Wasn't he on the side? It was like when he first came and he was
Yeah.
like sitting on the front row, I remember.
Yeah, I think he was hurt or something. There was some kind of,
I think that was Benny Keith gave us tickets.
maybe one of the few times they've given us anything.
Well, we
They
have
have like the Cowboys.
we got to
box that
do
we've
we
never
did
been
John
to.
Mayer with them,
True.
and then
yeah.
we were supposed to go see Sturgill Simpson, but it was right when
Oh.
COVID
True.
hit. But yeah, I mean, if the Dallas box is open, Benny Keith hit us up
Yeah.
specifically on Thanksgiving Day.
For sure. Because then we don't have to go see our family. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Mom.
She doesn't listen, does she?
No, I think my
mom
grandmother
does.
Yeah. Speaking of John Mayer, our friend said that they were in Montana
Can't handle this story.
and were grocery shopping, and then went to like the butcher counter, and John Mayer was
John
just
Mayer
there
chilling,
ordering food.
getting steaks, and everyone. She was like, that person looks familiar. And then they did like a lap around the store, and then like came back, and they were like, "That's John Mayer." And then I was like, "Was it cool? Were like people talking to him and stuff?" And she was like, "No, everybody just like knows John comes in sometimes."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That is the sickest thing. I would probably die." Here's an argument,
Okay.
maybe for the ladies and some gentlemen out there.
Uh-oh.
John Mayer, is he classically handsome or not?
Hmm.
Or is it like when he gets that guitar and that voice going, you're like,
Right.
I'm done. This is it.
Yeah.
I die happy. I would say it's the musician, like blinders, because I don't find him
Yeah.
classically attractive. But
I can say
he can sing and play.
you probably would have tried to seduce him. Let's be honest. You would have been.
He'd probably be,
Trying to find a
he'd
new
probably be
husband.
into it. And honestly, too, he's probably, I mean, he's not probably, we've seen John Mayer more than anybody else because he plays
Right.
with the Dead
Dead and
and
Company.
Co. So we've seen him all over America.
Incredible guitarist. And I was very anti John Mayer for a long time.
You were.
Like in college, I was like, he sucks.
And I was like, I think you're wrong.
But I remember, this shows you my age, maybe. I don't know.
Mhm.
But I remember Brian Davis had a cassette tape that he
That's old.
played when we were driving somewhere. And I was like, who is this guy? This is awesome. And that was the first, I want to run to the halls of my, like
High
that
school.
goofy, like, just goofy shit. But then at the time I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like.
But then why did you
this.
hate on him? Because Jessica Simpson.
Well, then after that, it was just like, he's a weird, he just is weird. He's
But
a
that's
weird guy.
that's my point. That
Yeah.
goes with my point. Is he is he super hot, or is he can just play really well and sing really well? Because he's been with the
And then
hottest
that's
chicks in the
attractive.
industry. Jessica, Jennifer Aniston,
Swift.
Taylor Swift, not my favorite. We can talk about that on another day. But
Now
like
we're really gonna get down votes if you start talking shit on Taylor Swift.
on T Swift, I'm not going to talk shit. I just think
Swifties are gonna come out and
but
bash us.
he's been with Katy Perry, your favorite.
I am a fan.
But he's not, like, if you just saw him on the streets, you'd be like, there's a human. You wouldn't be
So-
like, wow.
He is kind of tall. I
Yeah.
would say what I was gonna say, and I feel like I could say this with authority for the male race. what you're describing doesn't matter to guys. Like,
What?
a guy, generally speaking, and I don't want this to sound wrong. I should be careful. 2021, don't cancel me.
Oh no.
A somewhat unattractive young lady
Oh, I see.
who's like a great painter.
Doesn't matter.
Cool.
It's all about this
A
tease.
gentleman, the tease. A gentleman like maybe John Mayer, or I'm trying to think of think of any rock star ever. I mean, a lot of weird looking
Yeah.
dudes can play and jam, whatever. Ladies are like, okay, this is cool, whatever. I don't know if that is.
Guys don't care about.
Am I wrong, Paul? You're the other guy in this.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. Like, it doesn't matter how ugly you are. If you got an incredible talent, I'm like, you have an amazing personality and you have an amazing talent. But I'm not like, oh yeah,
Right.
See,
ooh,
it
blinders.
is. It's blinders.
This chick
It's
is
so
an
true.
incredible
Well, I also think
sculptor.
that with talent, men. So here's my theory on it.
Mm-hmm.
Men have a propensity to be stereotyped as in not having much emotion,
Yeah,
not showing passion.
I agree.
So
True.
when men show that emotion and passion, that attracts a woman
That's a great
because it's a
point.
quality that's not widely, put out there from men.
That's
So
true.
when a man is like playing guitar and singing and showing his soul, making some of the ugliest faces you've ever
John
seen,
Mayer
John Mayer
face.
does, then that makes a woman like, oh my gosh, I've
Yeah.
just touched his soul.
I agree.
There might be,
Opening
there
up.
may be something to that.
I get what
That's
you're
interesting.
saying. I
Yeah.
get it.
I mean, it doesn't sound like the best when I say it on a podcast that people listen to, but I think in
They're
general,
all thinking that,
almost
though.
everyone agrees with
I think you're
what
right.
I'm saying. Like the best bowler in the world, female bowler, like.
Okay, female bowler.
But some people would be like, dude, like look at freaking golf guys. Like golf guys have the hottest chicks.
True, and
you know,
they're not
whatever.
that attractive in all honesty.
Dustin Johnson. I mean,
He's got the bod, not the face.
yeah.
Ooh, I hope he doesn't listen to this. Jeez, just kidding.
Hey,
No, it's so true. But then he's got Paulina, who's the hottest chick ever.
yeah, not bad. Wayne Gretzky's daughter too. That's
Yeah.
okay. Not a big fan. Brooks Koepka, his young lady, is not bad either.
But Brooks is the hottest one
Right.
out of all of them.
Yeah, that's a bad example, but like I don't know. I was trying to be like, who's an ugly golfer, but we know a lot of golfers, so I shouldn't be. like,
Yeah. No,
This
I mean,
guy's
but
ugly and
that's
his
true. Though.
wife
I
is
mean,
hot.
but some women would be like, those golfers are like smaller, skinnier,
Yeah,
not like super, physically attractive, but then like they do have attractive ladies.
yeah. And then you have Tiger, who's just hooking up with
Super
Denny's
hot though.
waitresses.
I think Tiger's really hot.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay,
Maybe we should move on.
let's move on.
Paul's like dying laughing. But it's also when we were at the pool at Encore, I was like, man, there's like no attractive dudes here. Like literally
Thank God.
me and one of the ladies. Well, I mean, you could arguably say like all of the ladies were decently attractive. Not all of them, but they were all. And I was just like, me and one of the ladies were like, there's like two attractive dudes. Obviously not the guys with us. They were
I mean, that's a given.
super attractive, but I was like, that's crazy in the world. And I don't know. I love people watching. It was great for that, but
That was great.
it was
watching.
literally like the water hole or something like it on the Lion King when they sing "I just can't wait to be king"
sure
and they're at the
But
water
with
hole,
boobs,
but with
out.
like boobs. Yeah, it's like damn.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
What was I gonna say? Well, too, I think some ladies were working. Let's be honest. Like,
Well, I was like, do you think all of these people
it's
are staying
Vegas.
here?
Yeah,
Because that one time we were in Hawaii. Nah, not to brag, but we were in Hawaii like
Ooh.
3 or 4 years ago.
yeah,
And we were laying out at the adult only pool, like having drinks, chilling. And then like from the side gate, a couple ladies walked through And I was like, this seems weird. Because, like, you would usually just come, like, through the resort or whatever.
Right.
And then, like, they just, like, laid out and then, like, left. And I was like, I think they were, like, working. What did you think? Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember what happened
I'm pretty
yesterday.
sure. I'm pretty sure. Anyway,
we're all over the place. What time do we got? We're about okay.
almost an hour.
Patrick Mahomes joins franchise group to bring 30 plus Whataburger restaurants to Kansas City area. I love Kansas City and I love Whataburger. I'm excited to help bring a gift from my first home to my second home. It was a good PR person, whoever that is.
Yeah.
He is from White House, Texas. Beautiful White House, Texas. Big fan of Whataburger. Whataburger's overrated.
Oh, Jesus. You were just on their podcast.
Oh, I was.
Yeah, you shouldn't say that.
Whataburger is extremely overrated.
But here's the argument with this.
Yes.
So this is just all arguments today. It's Texas.
Yeah.
And then, like, everything ends up selling out eventually.
Yes.
And so...
Maybe that's my beef with them, pun intended. They sold to some Chicago group that just is going to
And then now they're just going to... But, like, that's how... But In-N-Out never sold.
No.
So they're just, like, originated... Okay, so I'm from California originally, and every single time we would land in L.A., immediately go to In-N-Out.
Because at that point,
Now it's
they
like,
were,
we don't do
not
that anymore.
Expanding.
No, it was
It
at
was
LA,
just
California. Yeah. It was like, oh, we're going there. We bought T-shirts there, damn it. Like, it was a big deal. Now it's like...
But that's how Whataburger was, too. Of
I
like
know.
a Texas thing. And then
Corpus
now,
Christi and then beyond.
And it's, maybe it's not family owned or whatever. This is going to make a lot of people mad. So
I know. I don't know if we should say this.
Well, Whataburger is great if you're like drunk and get like taquitos or something like that. For a fast food burger, it's pretty good. But I will say that, in my opinion, just the burger, right?
Okay.
And we can debate this maybe. In-N-Out has a better burger.
Okay.
Paul? Paul's upset.
I don't know. I like Shake Shack.
There's no way.
I don't
There's no way.
Shake Shack is good, but does that factor in to... I mean, they're not fast food.
I mean, what are you saying? They're quick service, I guess,
Yeah.
but not fast food.
Yeah.
I don't dislike Whataburger, but I guess I would say when I eat a Whataburger, I'm like, ugh, I shouldn't have done that. Like you just immediately feel regret.
The debate that I would say, and I'm sure Paul would feel the same way, In-N-Out has a great burger. I think that's not up for debate.
Yeah.
Maybe the worst French fries
Or
in the history of
not
French
an
fries.
argument. That's not even in
Right.
our argument list today.
They're like potato sticks.
It's
Did you
literally
ever-
just fried potato.
Yeah.
Like that's
Nothing
it.
wonderful
Nothing
about it.
on them.
Yeah.
The oil is, I think, it's just water.
The
Just boiled
sticks.
water.
Ew.
Did you ever eat potato sticks?
Yeah,
as a
dude.
kid?
My mom would my mom was a stickler
We're
for
poor.
anything
So-
anything like she would give me like one Oreo a day. She was like, you can have turkey and that's it. But anyway, she would let us get those like little potato sticks at the store.
remember my grandmother would always have those in Carthage, Texas. It's
Oof.
like, this is the snack. Whataburger's great, and I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but I guess my point was, let's say we moved
Okay.
out of state
Mhm.
somewhere, maybe Hawaii.
Okay.
now you're in. Okay.
Shake on it.
I'll go tomorrow. Someone else can run our fucking restaurants. If you moved out of state, what one or two restaurants would you want to bring
Oh.
with you? Would it be a Whataburger? Not for me. Plenty of other great things, in my opinion. Is there one restaurant or food thing that you would bring
Man, you should have
from our home?
asked me this.
I thought I told you.
Bacon
this
Burn
last
Ins,
night.
HeimBarbecue.com.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere near a barbecue place if we moved. Been there, done that.
I mean,
And I'm not saying you have to run it. I'm just saying like you a place
to run it.
enjoy,
Like I'm
yeah,
definitely out.
a place to like Whataburger. Like he's bringing.
What are you
Whataburger.
bringing?
Well, I asked you. Why are you putting it on me?
I mean, what do I eat that I don't?
Yeah, let me think. Well, it's like a Fort Worthy place or something, like a
Kincaid's.
Texas place. Kincaid's.
I'm not
really?
gonna bring that though. No, see, I don't
Yeah,
know. A
okay.
Texas Fort Worth thing.
And nothing again. I didn't mean to say it like that.
I do
Nothing
love a
against it,
Kincaid's.
but,
Crispy fried okra.
This might be kind of a curveball,
Mhm.
maybe. Mama's Pizza,
Okay,
because
not a curveball.
well, is it the best pizza in the world? No, I'll say that. But
You're
it's
on a rampage today.
dude, I got some hot opinions, and I'm ready to get them out. It's very Fort Worth. Like I don't even know what style you could say that is because it's got the thick ass crust and all. It's not
Yeah.
New York. It's not Chicago.
It's
or
Fort
whatever.
Worth.
But grew up
Ooh.
eating it my whole life. Freaking pizza buffets. You know that's probably never going to happen again with COVID. But like, you could go and just eat 20 different slices of pizza. Mama's Pizza Buffet was delicious. And it's very unique. So it's like, I know that doesn't exist in like a Hawaii or somewhere
Mhm.
else. And that would make me feel kind of like home, I think. So I think I would go with them.
Okay. I don't.
You still don't have anything. Nothing. Okay.
I'd be all like, "Look, give me another bowl of poke. This is my home now."
Okay. um,
I don't know. I'll tweet if I think of it, but I can't.
Joe T's.
Yeah, actually, every time we do come home from somewhere, we like usually go to Joe T's like immediately. It's just that place does make you feel like it's home.
I was there last night.
Yeah, I wasn't. That must have been nice.
It was pretty
We're
good.
going Saturday though, so
Yeah. That'll be fun.
we gotta ask
And
your mom to
anybody who's
babysit.
like, "Oh, the food's not very good," it's like, well, you don't know what to order. You got to order the right stuff. You got to do the whole thing. We said actually we were going to put that on Patreon, do a video of like the ultimate
We
Joe T's
did.
experience.
Would you guys like that? Like it's like a secret ordering
Yeah.
at Joe T's, like how to really do it.
Yeah,
Did you know there's not just a classic margarita?
yeah,
There's levels of margarita that will blow your mind. The other day,
yeah.
we were there and a friend, was it a friend? Yeah, it was our friend. She was like, I'll have a top shelf strawberry.
Yeah.
Who said that ever?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah,
You can do that frozen. You can do it on the rocks.
Yeah.
Nobody does that. They just say, I'll just take a strawberry margarita. Top shelf?
Well, as a all-star, I would say, former waiter there,
Yeah.
the service not great generally. So
Uh-huh.
it's usually like some like hot 20-year-old that's just like, "What do you want? We got 2 things on the menu." You know, so it's like,
Yeah, like they're not going to expand it because
Yeah.
we work there. You want to keep it easy.
they're not going to be like, what are the margarita options? Well, we can do this, this, and this. It's usually like we have green or red, you know,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. So, but we should do that. We should do a video of like, what do you normally get the dinner?
Yeah, but I also do like they have street tacos. Did you know that? You can get whole slices of avocado to go with your street tacos. You can get quesadilla. You can get the soup. You
Joe's
can do
Nachos. One
Joe's
of my favorite,
Nachos.
Deals. They do used to do.
We have a
chili
friend
relleno.
that like she'll get the quesadilla. She dips it in a side of the enchilada sauce.
Mm,
Enchilada.
I think it's enchilada.
I know
but
my
you
grandpa always
say
said enchilada, and I just keep it like that. The enchilada sauce, she dips it, and like those are pro moves. If you don't know it, you don't know it.
And then Liz says gravy. Which
Yeah,
this
it's
always threw me off. What's the difference between sauce and gravy in relation to? Oh, Paul's ready. I guess I was gonna say before you comment, I've heard this with Italians and Mexicans.
Yeah, because Sopranos they say gravy,
gravy.
right?
Do you?
Yeah, gravy is a thing for tomato sauce in Italian.
Oh,
So it's a Sunday gravy
Right.
is what you make.
But do Mexican restaurants say gravy or sauce?
Well, Liz does. But I think it's maybe that's the difference. Is their enchilada gravy is like cooked down chilies and tomato. Like maybe the gravy is like if it's cooked for like a long time or something. It's not just
Maybe.
like sauce.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just remember
Gravy
one
makes me feel
time
better about it, though.
we got enchiladas and she was like, "What is this?"
So the definition of gravy is a sauce made from cooked meat juices together with stock and other ingredients. So
Okay.
that makes sense because it's
Interesting.
long cooked in
Yeah.
the same stock and all that kind of stuff.
With
Mm.
some sort of meat or some
Yep.
fat or something.
Man, I might go there after this.
I was there last night. We're
Oh.
going. We're going Saturday.
Yeah, but it's only Wednesday.
We have a meeting, by the way. This is why we're dressed somewhat businessy. This is business Heims. You're looking pretty good.
Thanks.
But yeah, so I figured I shouldn't wear like a Modest Mouse t-shirt, but so nothing. You got nothing for me, Paul. What would you 1 or 2 restaurants you would take with you? Anything?
I'm a huge fan of Rodeo Goat
Oh,
because I love the gourmet burgers.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that. I just love it.
Yeah.
And then
Rodeo Goat's great.
yeah, I don't know if it's other places though. I really like Lupe Tortilla.
Okay,
Ooh,
I haven't been there.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
it's over there by our house in North Fort Worth, and they
Mhm.
have a shrimp, crab, and if they have lobster in, it's shrimp, crab, and lobster enchiladas,
Jesus.
Oh,
which is just
Sounds
the
awesome.
richest,
Yeah.
most incredible thing I've ever had. I've never had anything bad there.
does it got gravy or what?
Oh yeah. Well, I add the extra gravy. I'm like, hey, listen,
Gravy.
I'm Italian. Put some gravy on it.
Yeah. I probably would do something Italian, actually, now that we're saying it.
We don't have like a favorite Italian place
No.
here though. We need to try.
I want
the
to
new
try that.
place.
What's it? Il
Il
Moda?
Modo, I think. Yeah,
I got to go there.
it's supposed to be.
They
good.
got fresh pasta hanging on the walls and stuff. Like, all right,
That's
what's up?
awesome.
And you can like watch them too. Create pasta.
How are we on time? Should we go to the listener questions?
Sure.
Or
Because this is going to be perfect timing. First time ever.
I'm sure we'll continue to talk for a while. Oh, I gotta read that first one. I gotta get the other question.
Listener
I'll get it
question.
down.
This is from a Heim Time Patreon, Richard Miller.
Richard Miller.
Hey, Heims. Hey, what's up, Richard?
What's up, Rich?
I'm curious, is Texas barbecue cutthroat like I want to imagine it is? So is it cutthroat like he wants to imagine?
Sure.
Meaning, are all of you in a competition with each other for superiority? Or is it all love in the name of food of our people? The glorious, beautiful cow. And do you have
good.
any stories of old head barbecuers treating you badly? And he loves us. Love you too, Richard. Dude, do we have some stories?
Where to begin?
Shall we
I-
bring it back?
I wrote to Richard and I go, we'll see if Emma will let me tell any stories. And you said you were okay with it.
If we talk, or we're talking about food truck days, new guy and girl on the block in the streets.
On the scene.
We had some
It
haters.
was a nightmare. Literally a nightmare.
It was
for
a
while.
nightmare.
And this is why too, like, this is funny because like people will ask, like, you guys are all like just friends, right? And it's like I see that with the new guys. that
Yeah,
are, like,
camaraderie.
open a couple days a week and
Mhm.
all buddies. And I guess I think we have a different perspective, and maybe it was being like the one new thing coming in. No one was doing craft barbecue. All of the old guys were like, "Who are these?"
Like we're the
assholes?" Like,
original craft barbecue in Fort Worth, and that just wasn't happening
and I think
when we started.
it was very early on where, like, and I don't want to say names.
We're not gonna say names.
specifically, but you could probably guess. But it was like a lot of the older places that were not happy about our success,
Right.
and having 2-hour lines and all that. And even in the food truck, I vividly remember like every barbecue place in town, someone coming because they had like their shirts and stuff,
Right.
Like we were
Checking
just-
what meat we were
we're like,
using.
Hey, what's going on? Well, that's another.
That's another story.
Yeah, we had a guy who well, this will just tell you who he is, so I can't say that, but he had his own thing that closed, and he was at the restaurants at Magnolia and was going through our dumpster,
Yeah.
looking at the meat boxes to see like what we were buying.
If we were really using prime grade meat,
And then when he opened,
we got it on camera too.
when he opened the place, he had like an investor dinner at the restaurant.
Yeah.
And I was there like, what's going on, guys? How's it going?
Like just seeing how we do it.
well,
So
it's
let's
just
do
very
food
weird.
truck because this is
Okay.
Maggie's actually just hit 5
Jesus.
years on August 6th, which is
Yeah.
insane. So thank you guys for continually loving our flagship. So this is food truck days,
I'm getting
and
mad already.
we were maybe a couple months in. I think probably the article had come out from the Star Telegram, so this would be after May 2015.
Probably, yeah.
Still hot. I know it was hot. But we would just like we're taking care of business, getting the line through, doing the daily stuff, would finish and
We
be
didn't
sold
even-
out.
I don't think Rowdy was with us yet.
No, this
It
is
was
like
just us,
pre-Rowdy.
yeah.
And
Working 100
dude,
hours a week.
we're open like at this point maybe 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And it was like once a week the health department was pulling up. And we were
Mhm.
like, what is going on? And so how it works in everywhere, I guess, not just Fort Worth. If you go online and you make a complaint with the health department of your city, they have to come out and check it out. Like it's not a
Right.
question. It's not they're not going to be like, no, they're not doing that. Like they literally have to come out. They'll take pictures. They'll do a whole write up. So they kept coming out because somebody continually was putting in complaints on us, whether it was the smoker wasn't high enough off the floor, the smoker wasn't covered. It was always about the smoker.
A lot of smoker related.
So we're like, someone's clearly like checking out our smoker, which like before we opened the food truck, we did our due diligence and even had the health department come out, make sure we were doing everything right. Because we're not going to like just break rules to break rules. So
Yeah, well, I wanted to say too, like, and so at this point, I had thought about opening a food truck or a restaurant every day,
Right.
every night for like 6 years.
mhm.
We had done the pop-ups, but we had cooked in Austin with some guys and that. We don't have to get into all that.
Like it was
crap,
time.
but my point was, I knew like the back of my hand
Right.
what the food truck rules were, what all this stuff was. And one of the gray area loophole things, if you will, was in Austin and LA at the time, and then Portland had a big scene. The most successful food trucks and trailers I saw were stationary. They didn't go
move.
to a place every other day. They weren't going to some dumb brewery or something like that. It was like, this is where we are. And they had food truck parks and things like that in those other places. Fort Worth at the time was like, they thought of food trucks as like Roach Coach. It was like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
taco
yeah.
place next to the gas station. It was very like, no, there was no regulations. There was no attempt to like try to promote this, or whatever. I don't even know. There was maybe a handful of food trucks. I'm trying to think of who that were open in Fort Worth. even
Like
at
Taco
that time.
Heads was around then, I think. But
And
like
they were
you-
parked outside of a bar,
yeah,
right? So they
yeah,
had
out
the
of
same-
Pogues.
So that was another thing. So my point being, they had the exact same setup as us.
Yeah.
Because if you have a commissary, the bar is your commissary. You can't store anything on the truck because, like, what if the power goes out or something?
Right.
Understandable. You got to be able to dump your dirty water, get
Mhm.
clean water, all that stuff. We were the same way as like Taco Heads, where as long as you're parked there and your commissary is there, you can do all that, make it work. Some people didn't like that, or I think this guy specifically,
Yeah.
they didn't know the like rules of
Because
how it
I
all
will
worked.
say we were like the definition of gray at the time for barbecue food truck because no one had really done it before.
Mhm.
And so we kept checking in with the health department, making sure that we were doing everything right. They're like, you're good, you're good, you're good. But then, yeah, this one person had to continually put in these complaints. So, I mean, the health department would show up and be like, okay, you got another complaint. Let me look at this, and literally be like, you guys are good. See you next week, because he knew it was going to happen.
Well, after like the 5th time, the guy, we just like give him food, and he was like, "All right, I'll see you guys." Like
So-
he said, "I'll see you in a week or whatever."
But then it kept happening. And so we were like, we were like, what can we do? Because this is going to continually happen. Save our time, save your time. What can we do? So we literally drove our truck to the health department, because that's what you also have to do is like you have to take your truck every year to get an inspection done at the health department. So we voluntarily, it wasn't even our time to get an inspection. We were like, let's just call this quits, go through everything, and give us a new sticker, call it a day.
Well, I had a very unpleasant conversation with the head guy of like the health
Yeah.
department, and I was like, if you guys fucking come over here again, I'm just gonna absolutely lose it.
Right.
Like, you come check the smoker out, check the truck, we'll bring it, we'll do whatever. Just I don't want to ever see you guys here again. We're doing everything right. This is the probably 12th time that somebody came. So anyway, and this is a long story to get to the point, but then at this point, and the smoker was a whole issue, like you said, but so we immediately were running out of how much food we could cook. Like, I think I could basically fit 8 or 9 briskets, depending on the size, a couple pork butts. As soon as that came off, then in the morning, we're putting on the bacon burn-ins, the sausage. We didn't do turkey back then, or chicken or anything, but yeah, that was it from the meats. But anyway, so I don't know if I should say his name, but there's another local guy who was very nice, who we love to this day. And I think he came to eat or something, but we were talking and I go, man, we're trying to raise money for a smoker, but trying to save money when you're in a food truck and like everything. It would have taken years. And so we're trying to save money to build another smoker. And, I got all these issues and, the fucking food health department's like driving us crazy, all this stuff. And he goes, well, let me guess, was it this, and this? And it was like the smoker, issues with the smoker, the commissary thing, like the 3 things that we kept getting health department stuff, complaints on. And I go, yeah, how'd you know that? He goes, oh, well, this guy called a couple of the people, a couple of the older guys in town, and said that basically that you guys are doing this illegal, and tried to get him and everyone else to complain to the health department to try to get us shut down because we weren't part of the group. We were like the new kids on the block, whatever. And that made a ton of sense, right? And I was like, this is completely ridiculous. And then that guy, he had an extra smoker that then we rented from him for $1 a day.
$1 a day.
And that literally doubled how much we could cook. And
so all that,
and I keep wanting to say his name because he's a nice guy, but it's just, I don't want it to be like,
but all that to say, when like Richard's question, is it love in the name of food and our people and the glorious, beautiful cow? Like, I love everyone.
Yeah.
And I respect the game. I'm in the game.
I don't respect that guy.
I'm talking about now, like, are we all comrades? And like, I respect everybody because I know 100% know how hard it is. You know how hard it is. And every time we saw that health department pull up for literally no reason, there was one time I literally almost fainted because I was so upset. Like, I felt like I was going to fall down in the truck. And
just like, not
and I would never wish that upon anybody. Yeah. And I hope the best for all of these places that are popping up because I know it's hard. It's hard. I'm not going to make it harder for you.
Yeah.
Like you.
Just to be a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's outrageous to me and I'll never forget it. And honestly, it makes me like fiery thinking about it.
I'm very upset. And fuck that guy, to be clear, but his place closed.
But I also you got confirmation from another joint like, oh yeah, well, the day we took the food truck to the health department and you have to pay to have your stuff inspected. So I was writing a check, like we had no money, but I'm like, here we go. Writing a check. And I go, I just really hope this ends all of these complaints that we've been getting. And she goes, the girl taking the money goes, a lot of times when new places open, you're going to see something like this where the competitors are complaining. Right. So that there too confirmed that it was another competitor.
Right. And the one guy told me specifically that
100%.
This guy was calling
and health department can't tell you who complains, but she told me it was a competitor.
Right.
So,
and to be clear, never got fined once, never got anything.
We weren't doing anything wrong. And the guy was so cool. Our health inspector, he was awesome. I really liked him.
Yeah, I guess he didn't work there anymore.
I think he went to infectious diseases, which good timing, I guess.
Another story with the same piece of garbage. We did the Fort Worth Food and Wine Fest, one of the events. We had a minivan at this point, like 300-mile minivan. And so we're catering out of the food truck in this minivan. I think that was one of the years that we won Best Bite or whatever. This guy had a big jacked up Ford truck or whatever, but I'm driving, and you had already left, I guess, or you took the other.
I was like in front of or behind y'all or
Yeah.
something.
And so we're driving down University after this event is over, and he literally cuts me off like runs me off the road.
Yeah,
right
on
next
University.
to the Botanic Gardens, where there's like that the road ends right there, where it's like 3 lanes or whatever.
But it goes
and then
into the
or
turning
4 lanes,
lane.
and then it goes literally almost hit me on purpose and ran me off the road. And I was like, this guy is just the biggest piece of shit of
But
all time.
after that, I don't think we had any more issues. Like it was kind of like
Well, his place close, so it's like, what is he gonna
it
do?
was like,
You know?
this is it, dude.
We're
Like,
not competition anymore.
but we
so.
never, retaliated or did anything like that. And then it was like, if we ever actually make it doing something like this, it's like all the love to everybody else, because we know what it's like to be literally hassled just for trying to follow your dreams. So
Yeah, and I've had, I mean, I feel like we don't get a lot of credit for a lot of stuff, but that's neither here nor there. But I mean, 20 people probably, guys that have come in that I've like gone in the smokehouse, showed them, tell them this is how we do this. This is how we do this. Down to like, there's a guy from Florida who came in and like basically wanted us to do some consulting. And okay, this is my consulting fee. And then it was kind of like, well, I just want to find out for free, what it was or whatever.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we talked about it, and I told him like how we do burn-ins, and maybe 90% of the process, not the whole thing. So I guess he did that for like a month, and then like opened a place in Austin, and then was doing a food truck in Austin where he was selling bacon burn-ins and other stuff.
There you
and
go.
There's a million other places in Houston and even guys locally that like, I talk to, and I feel like I'm always open, and especially like it's one thing. And we've had this too, where like someone will message and be like, how do I start a food truck?
I had someone literally ask me like what vendor they should use, how they open a building. I'm like,
so when it's like that, I'm like, read a book, or something.
Yeah.
But it's like, if it's serious questions and those type of things where like, I can be like, hey, this happened to us. And so like, maybe you can avoid these pitfalls, as you're starting, because we're, I forget what it is, but it's something like 5% of restaurants are still open after 5 years of independent restaurants. It's something
5.
insane. So we are not like ignorant of the fact of how blessed we are of just to be in business with the restaurants is pretty incredible. And especially that in Fort Worth, a barbecue place is open a block away from us every week for the last, 3 years. And there's 1,000 places just doing our same food and, whatever. But, I guess it's weird. And that's where, to me, it's like, we've went through so much crap, like just to be like open. And maybe it was just people thought they could like push us around or whatever. And then other stuff, not just with the competitors, but other things where it's like, you see how, I gotta be careful what I say.
Yeah.
You see how in this industry, people try to use you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the biggest thing that I've learned early on was, this person's my friend. I really like them. Oh, well, when I don't do your event, or I don't do this for you, or I don't want to do this article or this, then, oh, it's not a friendship. It's just you're using me for whatever your thing is.
Well, you always have to be cautious of journalists and whatnot.
Well, journalists, but it's all of that. And so that's where it's like, I feel like it's such an odd thing. And that's a part of the bit. Like I've said multiple times, and I still feel this way of like, I love cooking food for people.
Mm-hmm.
Like even at our house, like having people come over, we serve them, we have food, we have a great experience. They love the food. that's what I got into this
Mhm.
business to do, because I care about that. I hate pretty much everything else.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to ask some writer, reporter guy. I don't want to do your dumb event that,
Mhm.
is going to cost $10,000 for us to do, that we get our name out there. That's all a part of the business that you kind of have to like grit your teeth and bear it at the
Yeah.
start. And then I think as we got bigger, we're like, oh, we don't need to do that. Our customers don't care if we do that or don't do that, or if we have a PR company or a publicist or whatever. Like, so anyway, I know
You
we're
gotta-
thinking the same thing, and it's like,
yeah.
I don't want to say a lot, but I think that's something that we don't talk about. And this is a great question, Richard, and I appreciate you saying it, because you don't want to be the like, we had it so tough and these people were mean to us and whatever, because nobody gives a shit for the
Right.
most part. It's like, is your food good? Is it a good restaurant? Blah, blah, blah. So I think the biggest thing is we took those weird experiences, or, people being mean to us, or literally trying to close our business. And then that made us more motivated to be successful and to grow and to do
Right.
what we're
Well,
doing.
you just
now.
have to remember what's important.
Yeah.
And like when you're saying like, oh, will you do this event? Will you take these photos or whatever it is? Like in the long scheme, how is that going to benefit you? And do you actually feel comfortable like in your heart and your soul doing it? If you don't, then don't do it. If you feel like it's going to strain you, then don't do it. And those people are probably not going to enjoy the fact that you didn't do it. But at the end of the day, you're trying to run your business. So
Yeah.
do what you think is right.
Okay. I think we answered that. And then the second question we had is kind of making me think of the same thing, but Pat Flynn, shout out Pat Flynn, Patreon follower.
Woohoo.
You're the man. I think Pat did the queso recipe. I'm pretty
Cool.
sure he said he tried it and loved it. So that's great. Funny how he worded it. Don't shoot the messenger, but what did you think of the Food Network's Barbecue Brawl? Thanks. New show, Barbecue Brawl. What I was going to say, I think it's Medium Raw, the book by Bourdain,
Mhm.
where like the first chapter, second chapter is called Selling Out. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to say that with this show, unrelated, but he talks about like, how like somebody wanted him to do like an Imodium ad, because they're like, you're the guy that travels and like eats stuff and
Oh,
does
right.
whatever. So this makes perfect sense. And you get diarrhea, right? Like
sure
just
he
like,
did.
well, probably. But it was just really interesting how he worded it, of like, but then you're tied to that brand. And so it's
Mhm.
the same thing, whether it's like, festivals or shows or whatever. It's like, if you're a part of that, then it's almost like you're aligning your company with like this deal.
Right.
So we're always super, super careful about specifically the charity events we do and stuff. I mean, BBQ, that's a huge thing that we started with our friend Emily McLaughlin, have raised like almost $500,000 for cancer care services.
Yeah.
I think over the years. That may be too high, but at least like $250,000. So that's very important. And I think that's why we're maybe not, we're very selective about that. But then again, that makes people upset, where they're like, you won't do my thing or this or that. Unrelated to this dumb show that I don't know anything about, but people have asked us to do Chopped 100
Yeah.
times. And like, it's not like they're beating our door down. We get the emails that I'm sure everyone else gets. We
Mhm.
just don't respond to them. We almost, before the food truck, we almost did, Tim Love had
Yeah.
a show where it was like they would build a restaurant for you in like a week
On Melrose.
in LA. And then what's the other guy,
Ben.
Bastianich? Maybe I just made that
Bald
up.
guy. I thought his name was Ben or something. I don't know.
I think Joe, maybe.
Joe or Ben. Yeah. I don't know.
But anyway, we like literally
We
went
got to like the
casting.
final. Yeah. We got to like the final thing. And we just wanted a restaurant. We wanted a restaurant so bad.
And then I still remember them being like, what do you guys fight about? Like, what makes you
Right.
like, what's the like drama? What's your,
It was like, gosh, that had to be like 8 years ago.
and at least, yeah, maybe 10 years ago or
Mhm.
something. But then it was like they were like wanted to proceed, and I called the lady and was like, we just don't want to do this. Like
Yeah.
because then we watched the first episode, and it was just reality TV. Nothing against
So
the
bad.
show. I mean, it's not like Tim Love's ever gonna fucking come on here, so who cares? But like, I'm getting the eyes. I'm getting the in the eyes, so I have to be careful what I say. But we didn't do it because it was like, it just seemed weird. And then the more we thought, and you have a vision, I think, which it's never 100% right, but we had this idea of what we wanted to open, food truck, restaurant wise, whatever. And that wasn't it. So I haven't seen a minute of this show. I looked it up, and I know Rodney Scott is involved.
Yeah, love him.
One of the best guys we've ever
Yeah.
met. When we were cooking with La Barbecue in South Carolina, we did an event. Rodney cooked whole hog Carolina barbecue. We did brisket and sausage, hot guts, beef ribs with John Lewis, and pretty much just hung out and drank all night. And
Yeah.
he had his playlist, Rodney's playlist on of just hump jams, like
Yeah, it was awesome.
Boys to Men and like a lot of like old school stuff. Super nice guy. Michael Simon. I know he's on there. The Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
Yeah, love that guy.
Is that the name? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's on there. Chris, I forget his name, but he's
Corretto?
nice guy. And
Heim barbecue.
he came into the restaurant multiple times. I gave him some of our rub for the bacon burn ends, and he was building a restaurant that I think it's finally open not that long ago. But he's on there. Seems like a awesome guy from our interaction. So I don't know if he's still in it. Hopefully he is. It'd be cool
I
if
don't
he
know.
won. But we'll get back to you, Pat. We'll watch an episode and see kind of what we think. But I think in general those shows are dumb, really dumb. But if Rodney's involved and Michael Simon's
Also, I like
involved,
the
then-
girl, Chef Brooke. She was from
Oh,
Top Chef.
yeah.
I really like her. I follow her on Instagram.
So, if they're involved, then I'm sure
it's
great. It's got to
good,
be
yeah.
better than some of those other goofy shows. But like, shout out Man Fire Food and Roger Mooking.
Yeah, he said he'd come on here
He's awesome.
once,
One of the nicest
traveling gets a little
guys.
better.
And it's very serious how the production is for that.
Yeah, and I loved that team. They were great.
He wants to like show what you do, and
Mhm.
really he's into it and all that. So it's like,
Well, he's a legit chef too, so.
but it's not like drama and like suspense. It's like what is cool about your restaurant or this thing. I want to show that, and I think that's why people love Man Fire
Yeah.
Food. So anyway, there's a lot of good stuff out there. I feel like I spent the
I'm
first
sure it's
part
good.
of this
We should watch it.
bashing dumb
No.
TV shows, but I'm sure it's great. Restaurant spotlight, and then we're done. or-
Restaurant
I don't know if you got
spotlight.
anything else?
So,
We went here yesterday.
we went here yesterday to the new location in the Stockyards. We went to Taco Heads.
Yeah.
Super good.
Taco Heads.
We tried 6 different tacos between the two of us. All was really good. And then we did chips and salsa, had a couple margaritas. It was
Delicious.
great build out. The location's awesome. It's got a good shaded patio too, which is a benefit
Yeah.
for how hot it is right now, miserably hot. Margaritas on tap, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't mention that.
Those were really good.
That was dope and really quick to get your drinks.
Apparently in the
great music
Stockyards,
too. All
This-
country.
Stockyards one, you can get drinks, and they have even like a big margarita, and you can walk around the Stockyards.
Yeah, you can walk and drink.
So if you're just hanging out in the Stockyards, get some food there, get some drinks. We know Sarah, who's
Yeah.
founded it, and then Alan, who's one of the investor guys or whatever, is a good
Mhm.
friend. So we love them. They're great. So go support Taco Heads, 2349 North Main. I think he said they're open 7 days a week.
I think so.
They're renovating the Montgomery
Yeah.
location, so it's not open yet, but I think it should be open relatively soon. It started like in a food truck, one
Yeah.
of the first, if not like the first, probably like cool food truck in Fort Worth. Sarah started at Pogue Mahone's. We would go there all the time and get delicious tacos. Then they opened the Montgomery place, which is a sick patio, and it's right across the street from Dickey's Arena, which
Perfect.
was like the smartest location. you could ever do. And we used to go there all the time, but then they've been shut down.
Mm-hmm.
But it's awesome. Great tacos. I feel like all we do is talk about tacos.
It's next
on
to
here.
Takova's too.
Oh yeah.
The boot place, which is affordable boots, which is really awesome. So obviously I had 2 margaritas and went and bought boots after.
That was bound to happen.
Bound to happen. But that was cool too, because they also have alcohol there while you shop for boots. So there you go.
This is like, we've talked about this, but things completely change of your view of restaurants when you have a kid.
Yeah.
And so like, specifically, you mentioned the music playlist was all like old school classic country.
I loved it.
Not loud, but at a good volume for like a fun thing. But I bring this up loud enough to drown out the Moana soundtrack that we were playing to keep our kid quiet.
Because she likes to scream
Because
now.
she just screams, and that's her thing, is she screams and screams. So
It was great. Go check it
all
out.
that to say, no one seemed bothered. The
No.
lady that helped us was super nice. The cashier, everybody. So go support them. I can't believe they opened a restaurant and found staff as quick as they did with everything going on.
Yeah.
But I think that's a testament
Great staff,
to
too.
and I guess some of the Montgomery staff is probably working over there
Probably,
now,
yeah.
great stuff, great tacos. Queso was really good. And then the margaritas were even better.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, I feel like we haven't burned any bridges.
Too bad.
Too bad. So time to go to a meeting and
Yeah.
go have fun.
Go check out the Dallas spot today.
Headed out to Dallas. Really proud of the team over there. I got somebody tweeted last night that they just moved from Illinois, maybe, and they've been to Fort Worth a couple times, but then they go to Dallas once a week. And the comment said, and the staff keeps getting better and better.
Awesome. That's
So-
what we want.
Things were a little rough over there. Maybe we talk about that on the podcast when nightmare restaurant openings. We have
Woohoo. During COVID.
plenty to talk about, but
Yeah.
the new manager that's over there is kicking ass and doing a great job. And then the smokehouse is awesome. So they've really stepped it up as business has increased with the travel and everything else. So awesome. If you listen this long, we really appreciate it. Follow us on or support us at patreon.com/Heim Time Podcast. We always ask for questions, ask for topics on there. If we're having a guest, which we have a crazy guest coming up in a couple weeks that is like, I can't
Believe we scored that.
come on this podcast. But all right, big time guest. So we always, anytime, like with Neen or Greg or any of the other people we've had, Tep, not Greg, sorry, we'll ask, what questions do you have and all that. So support us on there. Apple, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. We're getting pretty close to monetizing on YouTube if we get some more watch hours and subscribers. So that's awesome. So trying
Instagram,
to
Heim
build
Time
that up.
Podcast.
Absolutely. We have a Facebook that we don't use, but you can like tag us on there and I may look
Twitter.
it up like once a week. Twitter. Yeah, I'm on there. But yeah, thank you again
Thanks,
for listening,
y'all.
guys, and hope you enjoyed it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.